Welcome to Terabytes. Today we're going to look at 4 different strategies for making some money on Anchor Protocol, but be sure to read this disclaimer. Nothing here is advice, it's all just informational. So there are 4 basic ways to use Anchor Protocol to try to get some yield. The first is using the Earn tab to deposit UST and get a 20% APY, 20% interest on that UST, which is a dollar stable coin. The second is to use Collateral, bonded Luna or bLUNA as collateral, and to borrow UST against that collateral, which then you can do whatever you'd like with, and earn Anchor tokens. The third and fourth, both over on the Govern tab, are to stake Anchor to governance and to provide liquidity to the Anchor UST pool. So we're going to look at each of these in turn. But in order to use this, and in order to use the other applications in the Terra ecosystem, such as Terra Station and Mirror Finance, where you can trade, purchase, and hold derivative stocks and make some yield, providing liquidity for those as well. In order to use any of these tools, you need the Terra Station Extension. So make sure you're on a desktop, and then go to the Chrome extension store and search for Terra Station. So here we go. I'm going to go to the Chrome store and download the Terra Station extension. Now you'll need Chrome or Chrome-based browser. You'll see I'm using Brave here, which is fine. Once that's successfully installed, it's here added to your browser. So I'm going to go up to the little puzzle piece and make sure that that is pinned and displaying here. Now, I can connect to a Ledger hardware wallet on this extension, or I can create a new wallet. All right, here we go. I've clicked New Wallet. I need to enter a name and a password twice. And then here's the seed phrase. Obviously, I'm not going to show it to you. And then you have to check that you've securely written it down because lost seeds can't be recovered. So if you're not using Ledger and you're creating a wallet here, make sure that that seed phrase, those words, are safe. So I'm going to call this wallet Terabyte Demo. I don't have to remember these things. They just are for convenience and to keep my wallet safe locally. So the seed phrase is actually going to be encrypted, not just stored in a text somewhere on my hard drive. Click Next. It's going to ask me to confirm my seed. Now, of course, my wallet is empty. I didn't have to pay to create an account, but I've created a new account here on my Terra Station extension. Here is the Terra address that I can send coins to. And now if I go to the Terra apps like Anchor Protocol, I can actually click Connect Wallet. Now, if you want the official link to the Chrome extension page, it's right here, please install wallet. If I refresh the page, it'll detect that I've installed and it'll say Connect Wallet. So I connect wallet, a little pop-up just makes me allow that, and there is my address. H8DVVN, it's the same address. That is my Terra address now. So I'm going to send some UST from an exchange where I obtained it to this Terra address. Now there are places to get Terra assets like CoinList and Binance and KuCoin and OKX and some other places perhaps. You do not need a transaction memo to withdraw to an address you control. You just need the address. So I'm going to do that now. Okay, so now my UST has arrived in my wallet. I've sent 72 UST in. $72 worth of UST stablecoin. So if I head over to Anchor, I can see that that's already updated in the top right corner. I have $72. So here is the first strategy. On the Earn tab, you'll find the core offering of Anchor Protocol, a 20% APR, more or less fixed at 20%. Now there's a little bit of variation right now, as you'll see here, but it's to the upside. So let's say I want to keep stablecoin and I want to earn 20% annual on that, which is automatically compounded in my account. I'll go to deposit, enter an amount, let's say $10. Now there is a transaction fee of $0.547. Now the transaction fee will be relatively high if you're depositing a small amount. In my case, it's $10 and I've got $0.547 fee. However, with larger amounts, the fee is less significant. And of course, if you are on, say, Ethereum, you might have to pay $100 for something like this. So also, there's a fee to prevent spam. So you'll have to pay a base fee right now of 0.5 UST plus the typical fee associated with your transaction. So I'll proceed, although normally I would try to put some more in because of the fee. Terra Station will pop up and ask me to enter my password in order to confirm the transaction. I can already see the hash, view the transaction on an Explorer if I'd like, and there it is, it's done. So within something like 6 seconds, you should see it go through. I've got 9.999 UST right now. And if I refresh the page, actually, I can see that it has bumped up to 10 because I have earned, even though it's less than 0.001, I have already earned a tiny bit of UST because of that 20%. Now, in order to follow our second strategy, which is farming Anchor tokens by borrowing UST, we need some Luna. And in the future, we'll be able to do this with assets like Polkadot, Solana, Atom, Cosmos, and even Ethereum 2.0. But for right now, Luna is the only option enabled. Now, in order to swap for Luna, I can use the Terra Station desktop executable. So I'll have to input my seed words there into the desktop app. If I go to Terra Station, not this application here, but station.terra.money, and I hit connect, you'll see that I have the option to download Terra Station. Now, for convenience here, I'm going to head to terraswap.io, which is an alternate interface, but it's not recommended for beginners. So here at terraswap.io, I want to swap some UST. I haven't connected my wallet. I'll connect my Terra Station. And so now I want to swap some UST, which it says I have 61.8 remaining. I'll swap 21 of that. Now it says I need to use some Luna to pay the fee, but I don't have any Luna in the account, only UST. How do I deal with that? Well, I can just switch the fee. So I'll pay the fee in UST, and I would like to get some Luna. You can also get some stocks here and stuff, but again, be careful because arbitrary things can possibly be listed on TerraSwap. So here we go. This will get me 0.95 Luna, which I will then use to post as collateral. Swap. Always take a look at your rate here. In this case, $22. Make sure it makes sense with current market rates. Wherever you're swapping, I'll enter my password again in the Terra Station pop-up. And now I've got some Luna. So now if I head back over to Anchor and hit provide on the collateral list down at the bottom of the borrow tab, I'm going to be providing collateral. I have no bLUNA. How do I get bLUNA? Well, that stands for bonded Luna. And in order to get that, I need to bond. So I'm going to go bond the Luna that I have. Sometimes I have to refresh the page in order to get current balances. I want to bond 0.94 Luna, and I'll get 0.9468 bLUNA. I have to select a validator that I'm going to have this Luna vote towards, delegate towards. I'll pick bHarvest. You can do your own research on those validators, and I'll hit mint. Once again, I need to enter my password to confirm. And now we've minted some bLUNA. So if I go over to borrow, I'm looking down and I want to provide some bLUNA this time. Now I can. I'll click to provide the max, and I'll have a new borrow limit of $10.48. So roughly half of the $21 worth of Luna now. Because after all, the absolute borrow limit is 50% of the value of the collateral. So I'm providing this collateral, and this is going to be my borrow limit here. So I'll proceed. Now I've posted collateral. So transaction fees did cost me a tiny bit. I got $21, but now I'm at roughly $21 worth of collateral here in borrow. Now that'll update in real time based on the price of Luna. All right, so you see I have a net APR over here of 265%. I do pay interest, a borrow interest of 30%, but the Anchor incentives, the ANC token that is provided to me for borrowing is 296% right now. So I actually make money by borrowing at this point rather than, paying interest to borrow. So let's go ahead and borrow, because otherwise we're not going to get any ANC. Now the borrow amount window pops up with this convenient slider. Now max is not recommended at all, because if the price drops even a little bit, you might get liquidated, which means your collateral will be sold in order to pay off your debt. So we don't necessarily want that to happen. So let's head down to what is indicated as a safe LTV. Now this is just a suggestion. It's just recommended. It's not guaranteed to be safe. If the value continues to go down, let's say there's a market dump and the value heads down, then that's in effect pushing this slider bar up. All right, and you can always come in and check your safety value here in the interface. So I'm only going to do, say, 30%, because maybe I want to sleep a little better and not worry about getting liquidated. But that means I'll get less ANC. And so here we go. I'm going to proceed. and borrow 30% or borrow $6.28 against my collateral. All right, there it is. I've borrowed and I can come in and see where my borrow limit is. Now this is different from that 30% indicator. It's kind of flipped. So you can see I've used 60.16% of my borrow limit. And now it's gone up to 60.2% because the value dipped just a little bit. It's not quite $21 anymore. So if that hits 100%, then my, right now my bar limit max is 1043, but that'll go down. And so the bar will be more filled if the value of the collateral drops. So if I hit that, then players in the ecosystem will be incentivized to liquidate me. So I do want to come in, I do want to make sure my position is safe. Some people use the anchor rewards, in fact, to pay back the loan or provide additional collateral. I could actually come in now if I wanted to and take this 628 and buy more LUNA with it and then post that LUNA to this position so that I have more LUNA and a safer position. So let's go do that right now. I've borrowed $6.28 against this collateral, and now I'm going to go get more LUNA with that money. So let's go, I'm going to swap back into LUNA. Swap. Okay, now I have a little bit more LUNA, so I need to bond it into bLUNA, or bonded LUNA here. Let's vote for somebody else with that. Stake with us. All right, now I can post that. I don't need to go through the borrowing again, but I can post that as additional collateral. Notice I'm using 60% of my value right now, and I owe $6.28 in order to get my collateral back. So let's post some more collateral. And now you'll see my safety has improved, right? This is liquidation at the very end here. Right now I'm at 30%, but the very end is liquidation. If I put this bLUNA back into my collateral position, I increase my collateral, then my position gets safer. So I used the UST I borrowed to actually make the position more safe. Let's proceed. Fantastic. All right, so now we see our collateral value is 2718. I only bought $21 worth of LUNA, right? But then I borrowed against it $6 worth, and I got more LUNA, which I put into the position. And LUNA price would have to drop significantly by half or more in order to liquidate the position here, in order to sell out and cover the debt. So this is one way of controlling more LUNA with less cash. And an advantage to doing it this way, of course, is you get the ANC airdrops. Now we're going to look at this at the very end of the video, but if I head over to Govern, I can see a reward rundown, and you can see that I've already gotten a little bit of ANC. It's not much. I only have $20 in there, and it's only been a few minutes, but I've gotten a little bit of ANC here as a reward for borrowing. Again, it's a major consideration. You have to be aware that if the market value of LUNA drops, in this case, roughly a little bit more than 50%, your position might get liquidated, which means the collateral is sold to cover your debt. And the LUNA doesn't get all taken away from you. You'll get some of it back. And of course, if you kept the UST, you still have that dollar value, right? So you don't get wiped out entirely, but it will be potentially an adverse event where basically, since I came in and bought more LUNA here, basically I was buying high and selling low if the market tanks, right? So just be aware of that. Be aware that this is kind of you need to be a little bit more alert. It's a little bit more prone to adverse actions happening if the market just dives on you, and you need to make sure that this borrow limit remains in a safe place. Unless for some reason, maybe the anchor incentives are so good that you don't care. Do your own research, do your own calculations. This is also great if you're holding LUNA and you need some cash and you don't want to sell your LUNA right now for whatever reason. Not only do you get cash, but you get it at negative interest because of these anchor rewards right now. You don't have to pay interest for the loan, so you can keep your LUNA, but also get the cash you need. Now, if I come up and I want to repay, I can come up here and repay, and I'll repay the debt. Currently, I can repay all the way down because I have UST in the account still. I have $38 UST, but I've allocated that to the further strategies, so I'm not going to do that. Now, what if the value of LUNA goes way up? All right, let's say the value of LUNA goes, I don't know, 10x, just for an example here, okay? My collateral value would suddenly be $270, and I would only have borrowed $6 against that. So I might want to borrow more, or I might want to withdraw some collateral. So if I come down to withdraw down here, I can select an amount to withdraw, and I can actually select it by the safety slider. So if Luna 10x'd, then the slider would be down here at like 2%. Because the collateral is so valuable, my position is so safe. So if I didn't want to borrow more, but I wanted to withdraw the Luna collateral, then I could slide up or enter an amount and adjust my position to a more reasonable safety margin than like 2%, and then withdraw the collateral that way. Now this is, however, bonded Luna. It's staked, and it will take 21 days to unstake. That's how the rewards are generated. That's how all of this is powered, because of staking rewards. And on Luna, it takes 21 days to unstake. On other networks, it also takes some time. On Polkadot, it takes 28 days to unbond. So what if I want to get this collateral out and deal with it now? Well, there's an option. I head over to Bond, right? We minted bLUNA in order to do all this. If I have bLUNA and I want to go back to Luna, then I burn. Right? And there's a burn option. It takes 21 days to process because the burn action has to unstake the bLUNA first, the Luna behind it, and then it'll be able to give me liquid Luna. However, there is an instant burn option, which will cost more. There's a Luna market, a bLUNA Luna market. So you can get it instantly back into Luna, get that staked Luna instantly liquid, but you will probably pay a premium to do that. So that was the most complex strategy by far, but it's also one of the most interesting. Let's move on to the third and fourth options. Here's the simplest option, governance. Now, while it is the simplest, it's also the lowest interest, at least right now. It might go up, it might go down, who knows. And as the Anchor token price adjusts, these APRs will change because these APRs are in US dollar value. So if Anchor gets more valuable, the APRs will all go up. If Anchor gets less valuable, the Anchor values will all go down. So let's say I'm holding Anchor. I think Anchor is going to do well, and I want to hold it, but I do want to get a little bit of yield, or I want to participate in voting here on the protocol. I come over to the Govern tab, and I don't have any Anchor at this time in my wallet. If I drop down, I see I have this AUST, which represents the position that I just opened in Strategy 2. But I can get some Anchor right here with Trade Anch. So Trade Anch, resulting price may differ from expected price due to max spread settings. Again, if you want to have customizable low spread, low slippage, then go to Terra Station. And if you want to have really high slippage that's not 90%, go to Terra Swap, and you can get however much you want, but you might encounter slippage. Slippage is the price you actually pay based on market moves, the difference between that price and the price you expected, the price you entered. You have to have a tolerance since your buy or sell might move the market, right? And there might be some latency where you entered your trade in and somebody else came in and bought or sold a huge amount. And so how much more are you willing to pay? That's what the slippage number represents. On anchorprotocol.com, that slippage is set to 90%. On TerraSwap, it's unlimited. And over at Terra Station in the desktop wallet or station.terra.money, it's definable. You can pick a slippage between 1 and 50%. So I'll show you very quickly where that is. Right here under the swap coins section on the swap tab, I click this little gear, and that's where I can set my slippage. I've been advised you actually want to pick the coins first and maybe enter an amount here before you come up and change the slippage. So the last thing you want to do, at least in this iteration of Terra Station, is come up and change your slippage tolerance. At 0.1%, it warns me your transaction may fail. If I enter some absurdly high number here, it says your transaction may be front run. All right, so that's how you do that. That's what slippage means. On Anchor Protocol, it's 90%. I'm going to go ahead and, since all the rest of the strategies involve Anchor, I'm going to get maybe $30 worth of Anchor. I'll get $31 worth of Anchor. Right now, that's roughly 5 Anchor. It shows me the minimum I'll receive down here based on the slippage setting and so on. Shows me the price per Anchor, shows me the fee I'm paying, and so on. So I'm going to get some Anchor. Here we go. Proceed. All right, I've obtained some anchor. I can come down and drop this down now and see that I've got some anchor. So let's go over and stake the anchor. I hit governance stake. I enter the amount I want to stake. I don't want to stake all of it. Let's say I want to stake 1. And the TX fee again is that minimum 0.5 UST. You're going to see that as a spam prevention, so don't do this with really, really tiny amounts. I'll hit stake, enter my password. And now I've staked to governance. Now getting out of this is very easy. I just come over to unstake and I unstake here. If my tokens, however, are locked up in a poll, there's no voting right now because the protocol just launched, but I could create some polls here to like propose things as far as how the protocol should improve. But if I came in and voted on that, then my anchor might be locked for the time that takes the poll to resolve, for the time until the vote ends, and I won't be able to unstake in that case. I don't know if that's true, but it's true on Mirror. The fourth strategy is also on the same tab, Govern, and it is providing liquidity in the Anchor UST pool. Now how this works is that when Anchor and UST are traded back and forth, you, as the liquidity provider, are providing the liquidity so that there's a good price on either side. There's a small spread, people get good deals, buys and sells don't easily move the price and so on. And for providing that service, you not only get a portion of the fees that they pay, the transaction fees they pay, you also get Anchor rewards. And right now, there's a total staked of 20.4 million LP points, and the APR on those is almost 300%. So let's provide some liquidity. I come in and I need to do two things. I need to provide the liquidity, and then I need to stake. Now, of course, we've already obtained our Anchor and our UST. It's sitting in our wallet. Now, I'm kind of running out of UST because I've been doing all these little strategies with a tiny amount, and I bought too much Anchor for the last step, so I've got more Anchor than I have UST for. You have to provide an even amount of each, so you can click either one over here in order to fill out the max. But if I were to do that with Anchor, it would say I don't have enough UST down here. I could click here as well, but I need to pay the fees, so I'm just going to go ahead and do roughly 2 Anchor. So I'm providing, or excuse me, $2. So I'm providing 2 UST and 0.3 Anchor to the pool. You'll probably want to work with larger numbers since the fee to do this is 0.5 UST. Add liquidity. All right, I have now provided liquidity. However, right now I'm not going to get those Anchor rewards. If I come over to Govern, it'll show up in red here as stakeable. Right? I have these liquidity pool, liquidity provider tokens, but they're not staked, so I'm not getting the Anchor rewards. And if I send these to someone or sell them or do anything else that gets them away from me, then I won't be able to reclaim my share in the pool. These tokens, these Anchor USTLP tokens I have, they represent my share in the liquidity pool. So let's go and stake that. It's in the same place as where we provided it. We just hit the stake tab. And then I want to stake the max, stake. Terra Station pops up, I approve the transaction. And now I've staked. So I've staked this to the liquidity pool, and now I'm making roughly 300% in Anchor rewards, APR, annualized. Again, that price depends on a lot of things. It depends on how many people are in the pool. If more people join the pool, there's less water for everyone, right? So if more people join the pool, the Anchor rewards will be dispersed among more people. That's generally true with most of the things we've been doing here. APRs will go down if a ton more people come in. However, if the Anchor price goes up, then APRs will go up. So maybe that'll counterbalance. I can't predict which way it'll go, but for right now, you can view the APRs yourself at app.anchorprotocol.com. So now that we've given it a little bit of time, let's see how we're doing. I'm going to go over to Earn. And I've still only made less than 0.001 UST, which is, I had hoped that would bump up, but it does make sense. I only have $10 in there. If I wait a little bit, I'll start seeing this money climb up. It's 20% or a little bit above that APR, annual rate. And that auto compounds. You'll see it added to my deposit. I don't have to claim and then redeposit and stuff like that. It automatically happens for me. Over on governance, I get a rundown of everything else I've done. So I actually have, you can see from the liquidity pool that I just provided, even though it was like $2 worth of liquidity on either side, so $4 total, you could see the pool is currently worth this amount of ANK and this amount of UST. Now note that while my value here won't go up, I still have the same share of the pool. The pool does get bigger as transaction fees come in. So if the price didn't move at all, my values here would actually go up as people executed trades. Now, as the ANK price changes, that will change, and it will always remain balanced. So if the ANK price goes up, you'll see less ANK and more UST here. If the ANK price goes down, you'll see less UST and more ANK here. Now, the phenomenon known as impermanent loss means that if let's say the anchor price skyrockets, it goes 4x or 5x or something like that, then you'll have less ANK and more UST. You're kind of selling it up the curve because you're providing liquidity. So you might experience what's called impermanent loss, and that would be roughly something like 25%, not of what you put in, but 25% of what you would have if you just held these and didn't provide them. So that's why there's this great APR. It's to make up for that potential, right? If the price changes, moves dramatically, pool holders now hold a different balance of tokens since the sides stay in balance. So the anchor incentives help offset that. And in fact, right now they significantly over offset that. You can see this is already bumped up since I started talking about it. It bumps up live. I've got this from borrowing. And also my ANK governance, I have earned maybe a little bit, right? I've got 1.32% rewards coming in for ANK governance, but that's automatically restaked. So I have some spare ANK here that's stakeable. I might come in and put it into governance just because it's instant withdrawal and whatever, I want to stake it. That will automatically be restaked, which means over time, this value will just go up. Now, over time, this value will go up, the rewards for LP, and I'll need to come and claim them here in order to do something else with the ANK that I'm getting. And same here with the borrow, I'll need to claim those rewards as well. So we can claim all rewards here in order to claim everything that I've got coming to me. So in summary, strategy 1, which is depositing UST and getting interest, that automatically compounds. I don't have to touch it. I can just put in dollars, and when I come back, there are more dollars. And that's how it is. Strategy 3, staking the governance, also auto compounds. I put in ANK, and when I come back later, there's just more ANK there. Okay, now it's a relatively small APR right now, but there's more ANK. And also, I'm not exposed to any price movement of ANK. I don't suffer potential impermanent loss from that because I'm actually staking my ANK and not liquidity. On strategies 2 and 4, though, which were the borrow to earn ANK and the stake to liquidity strategies, I have to come in and claim those. So you see the rewards here for those, borrow and liquidity. I can claim them individually by clicking these little dots, or I can click claim all. And all of the other actions here are things that were on those tabs. They're just placed in this menu for convenience. So those are the 4 basic strategies on app.anchorprotocol.com for farming UST or ANK rewards. Good luck playing around with Anchor Protocol. While you're there, consider taking a look at terra.mira.finance, which has some of the same stuff. You trade for stocks, you can provide liquidity into the liquidity pools for, say, dollars and Airbnb stock. And then you can stake that, and that earns certain APRs as well, paid out in the Mir governance token. And you can stake the Mir governance token itself too, kind of like staking the Anchor governance token. Very similar mechanics over at terra.mira.finance. Thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed to Terabytes, we provide content about news, interviews, explainers, tutorials like this all the time on the Terabytes channel. Subscribe on YouTube. Make sure you like the video, leave us a comment. If you have any questions, reach out to TerabytesPod on Twitter or Telegram, or email hello@terabytes. That's hello@terabit.es, and we'll talk to you soon.